Hi there, it's David Young, the Resourceful Coach, and we're going to talk a little bit about today, some data, and really for me, this might be a little bit controversial what we're going through, but I want you to change your whole way of thinking of how you've played golf over the years. For me, I spend most of my time, my golfers on the golf course, and what you start to learn is deep down, they want to achieve really one thing, they want to lower their scores. And if we're honest, that's what the game's about. The lower the score, the better your handicap. And ideally, that's really in golf. Yeah, if you walk into a different club and you say, I'm off a 6 handicap, everybody goes, well, he's a decent player. If you say you're 23 handicap, maybe not so. So our goal here is to show you the ultimate result that I want you to get. Get the results you're going to look at. And we're looking to break 80. That's the goal. So this is going to be very different to any video you've seen before. For me, what we're going to talk about is not your technique, the technique of your golf swing. If you are that player who thinks golf is all about technique, I think you will struggle to get to where you want to get to. So we're looking at the result, and what I want you to think about is, how do I get there? How do I get that result? What's my intention to get there? And if you think that way, you'll develop a technique that will work for you. If you are that player who just thinks technique is everything, all I would ask you to do, just watch the first hole that we're going to do. We're going to do 3 holes here today. We're going to play the 16th, 17th and 18th holes. I'm going to show you what you need to do to be that golfer that would break 80. Okay, we're going to do it in a slightly different way. So we're explaining what we're going to do, but what we're going to look at to start with is we're going to start to focus on the result that you need. Then we're going to play the shot, and we'll do this all the way through these 3 holes. And ultimately, what's the goal that you're looking for? So here we are, we're on the 16th hole, and the 16th hole, for example, is a 517 yard par 5. So if I was looking to break 80, on average, what do I need to score down this hole? And everything I work on is developing the data. And it might sound strange what I'm going to say, but on this hole, you need to shoot on average 5.2. So what does that mean? Well, 80% of the time you're going to par it, 20% of the time you're going to bogey it. That's what we need you to do, to be that player that's going to break 80. That's the goal. What we're going to show you as we go through this hole is everything that we want to achieve with every shot as you play down this hole. What would be the average shot to give you the opportunity to do this? And what we're going to start with is actually look way, way ahead, okay? So ultimately, what do I want to do? Well, I want to have played 3 shots here and be on the green. I want to hit this green regulation. If it's a 5.2 hole, remember 80% of the time you are going to par this hole. So we need to be hitting this green on regulation. But what's the distance we need to be from the hole after 3 shots? And that's the goal. That's what we're going to work on down this hole, the first 3 shots, to get to within 40 feet, 35 to 40 feet. If you do that as an average player breaking 80, you are going to, on average, 80% of the time you will 2-putt it. Approximately 20% of the time you will 3-putt it. So there's our 5.2. There's our average as we're going through. But what we need to do is go through the shots that's going to get us there and what you need to achieve. Now, this is the, maybe we'll look at this and go, this is the controversial bit. I don't care how you do it. Seriously, when I get my golfers thinking this way, their scores lower tremendously. I've had guys who've never broken 80, always shooting close to 90 and now breaking 80 easily because they're not worried about the perfect swing. Okay, they're now thinking about what's the result that I want. And what that's done is change their attitude, their expectation, and has started to lower their scores. And they're using clubs that they now know will achieve the result rather than the ego saying, I must hit this club, I must hit this shot because I must hit a driver on a par 5. Okay, well, we're going to show you in a minute what the result we need to get that desired result. So let's start playing the hole. What we're going to do though to start with is we're going to go down the fairway and explain what you need to achieve, and then we're going to come back and play the shot and see if we can achieve it. So we're on the fairway here, and as we said from that introduction, where do we want to end up? Well, I want to be, as I said, around about 210, 240 down the fairway. Ultimately the fairway's good, but here's an important thing to understand. Even if I end up in the light rough and the lie's decent and it doesn't really affect your swing, that's okay as well, because remember what the goal is. We want to get within about 35, 40 feet after 3 shots. So that's what we're looking to achieve from here. If I can get the ball off the tee into this position, it straight away gives me that chance. So I'm standing down the hole, I look down the fairway here, I can see the 150 marker about 130 yards ahead of me. Ultimately, this is where I'd like to be. But as I said, if I'm a little bit left, a little bit right, and I can still make a full swing, that doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go play the shot, see what result we get, and let's see if we can put it into this area to give ourselves that chance to make that par on this hole. So now we know what to do, let's do it. We're looking for a tee shot really, anything between 210 to 240 off the tee, and it's what you can do to achieve that. We're looking to reduce this hole from 510 yards down to about 280, 290. That would be a really good result. So I'm taking my fairway wood here. I know if I hit this well, it's going to go around that 225. It's going to be that sort of number that we're looking for. So straight away, I'm picking the club that will achieve the shot that I want. Remember what we're looking to do. We're going to look to break 80 today. Okay, so there's our fairway straight down there. Nice and clear in my mind now what to do. And that's the key thing. I'm not trying to do something outrageous. I'm just looking to do something that I know I can achieve. That's the key thing. So always come back, look at what I'm trying to do, set myself up. Nice and positive. Because I've got the clarity of what I want as the result, I'm just going to commit to it, make the swing. Let's see what happens. Nicely struck, slightly down the right side of the fairway, but the camber of this fairway should kick me round. Yep, that's coming back. So I'll probably be right side of the fairway. We'll go down, have a look at the result we've got, and see if we achieve what we wanted to. If we have, that gives us the opportunity to do the next shot. So the decent tee shot, we're okay, we're in the fairway, a little bit to the right, but that's okay. But what are we looking for as the second result? We want to be down here into the hole. We're looking at a shot around about that 100, 120 yards. That would keep us on par. From here on average, that player breaking 80 would put this to about 35 to 40 feet. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, let's see if we can hit that shot down here and see what result we get, and can we keep the momentum going to make that par on this hole. So as we said off the tee, we've hit that a little bit right, but remember what our goal is. We've just gone through it, we've been down there, we've looked at what we've got. We'd like to get this around about 120 yards, 100, 120 yards from the green. That would be a really good result. That would keep us on level with what we're looking to do. Now the tee shot here, because it's gone a little bit right, means I'm a bit closer to these trees than I'd like. And I see a lot of golfers play this hole. They try and carry the trees, and what could be an easy 5 turns into a 7 or an 8. Ego. Remember what we're looking to do. I want to be 35, 40 feet away after 2 shots. That's the key thing. So I'm just going to take a 6-iron here. I'm going to knock it down. We've had quite a dry sort of spring here when coming into the summer, and I'm just going to, and it should run down to around that 120 mark. That's what we're looking for. So nice smooth 6-iron. So again, you can see I've hit fairway wood off the tee, 6-iron here now down the hole. I'm using the hole. Nice smooth swing. Let's see if we can get it to where we just explained we wanted to be. Yep. Again, ideally where I'd like to be. It's going to open the hole up nicely. We'll have a look when we get down there. But again, the number we're looking for around about that 120 yards. Let's see what we get when we get down there. So we've got our position. We're about 130 yards away. But remember what the goal was. We want to be within 40 feet of the flag. And I've put the camera right at front of the green. And that's about the number from the front of the green to this flag. And then probably around about 35 feet to the back of the green. Okay. So we can see anywhere on this green, I'm going to achieve what I want to achieve. That's the important thing you need to understand. And that's the mentality of what we're looking for. And then it's developing your technique and belief to know that from 35, 40 feet, 80% of the time, you will 2-putt it. And if we're doing that, remember at the very start of the hole, I know the data looks a bit strange that we're giving you a sort of a number that isn't a full number, but 5.2 will be a number that will work for you. That's the key thing. Play it 5 times, par it 4, bogey it once, you're doing fine. So let's see if I can get that 130-yard shot onto the green. So I've come down to my shot. It's around about 130 yards into the green. So a little bit out. We can see with both shots, we've not been perfect, but we're still on with a really good chance of still making our par. 130 yards, as I said, about 10, maybe 20 yards outside where I'd love to be. But have I got the opportunity to hit the ball on the green? 100% yes. So I'm keeping the mind in a nice stable position. What I'm not doing, and this is the biggest problem I see with golfers, if they don't hit their perfect shot, they're going berserk, they're going mad, they're wondering why it's not happening. You don't hit many perfect shots on the golf course. That's a really important thing to understand. So what you've got to really get into your mind is the trust of the fact that, yeah, as long as I'm putting the ball into the general area where I need to be, and I can still make a swing and I can still play the shot to do the next result, you're doing fine. That's the ultimate. That's what we're looking for. So remember what we said on the tee. After 3 shots, I want to be around about that 35 to 40 feet. That's what we're looking for. Okay, we've got 130 yards in. Anywhere on that green gives me that opportunity. So that's the key thing. I don't have to be sticking it right close to the flag. The importance is to understand what I'm looking to do. So we've been up onto the green. We've shown you roughly what 35, 40 feet is. Let's see if we can achieve it. Now this hole here at Corinthians, which is, as I said, 16th or 7th hole, because we're a 9-hole course, but we have separate tees. Everything here you want to aim a little bit out to the right because it will kick in. So again, you're using your course understanding, knowledge to give you the best result you can. I'm never going to be disappointed if I hit this closer than 35, 40 feet. But remember, that's what we're okay with. Remember, that's what we should have been thinking on the tee box. After 3, that's what we're looking for. Well, it's going towards the right edge, which was the idea. Let's see what we get. It's bounced down onto the green. It's a little bit of a falling down on green, so I can't exactly see where it is. So we're going to have a look. As long as we're inside that 40 feet, we've done the job so far through these first 3 shots. So we've come down to the green and I've paced it out just to save a little bit of time on the video here, and we're approximately 30 feet from the hole. So that now, just with my stats, my numbers, we started on the tee looking at a 5.2 hole. Okay, I've done nothing spectacular. All I've done is get the ball in play off the tee with a 3-wood, and that's given me a shot where I put it to 130 yards with a 6-iron, and then I've played a 9-iron onto the green. And in doing that, I've now, by getting to 30 feet, I've increased my chance of making a par by 10%. So I've gone from a 5.2 hole to a 5.1. It's still a 10% chance I can 3-putt this, but remember at the start of the hole, there was an opportunity, there was a 20% chance. So by playing it and calling the ego back, pulling it back, what it's allowed me to do is get the result. The goal always, as we said, 80% of the time standing on that tee, I was going to look to make a par. Let's see if we can get out of here with a par. We've got an outside chance. I mean, this is probably a 1-2% chance I might hole it. Okay, 10% chance I'm going to 3-putt it. So let's see what happens. Okay, not a lot of break on this, so the camera will show that. Main thing here is from 30 feet, get your speed right, get it close, tap it in, move on to the next hole. Yeah, well, caught the edge of the hole. Really happy with that. I mean, I'd never ever be disappointed with a putt like that. It's rolled down, gone about 8 to 9 inches past. We've got a par. Okay, so remember what the goal was at the start of the hole. We're looking to break 80. This was a great opportunity. This was an 80% chance of par. If we're looking to break 80, we're looking to be around about that 6-7 over par, depending on the par of your course. Okay, so straight away, we've got one of those pars we need. We need probably around about a dozen in a round. Okay, we're now going to go and play the 17th. It's a 200-yard par 3. Again, we'll look at the stats. We'll start at the other end and work our way back. So we're here at the 17th hole, and again, let's go through the data. So this is, the previous hole was a hole you're going to par more than you're going to bogey. Unfortunately, this is a hole, 200-yard par 3, where you are going to bogey it more than you're going to par it, even as a player breaking 80. So this is a 3.6 hole. Basically means you're going to bogey it 60% of the time, par it 40% of the time. So what we're going to look at here to start with, a little bit the data of what we said on the previous hole. Where do I need to be on the green to have a good chance? And we need to be about 7 foot from the hole. This is the important thing, after 2 shots. I know it's a par 3, but 2 shots. So what would be a par shot here? Getting the ball down towards the green and giving myself an opportunity. So mentally, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking in this situation to think, I need to get the ball close to the hole after 2 shots. That's the goal. Okay, but we're going to go down towards the green, show you where on average we want to get that first shot. So as we mentioned on the tee, 17th hole, 200-yard hole, what would be a good result? anything around this area. You can see the flag there ahead of me. We're around about that 15 to 20 yards short of the green. We'll have advanced that ball 170, 180 yards down the hole. This is keeping you on your level. This is the key thing. On average from here, you're still going to get down in 60% of the time. It's going to keep us on that level. But as we're seeing with these first two holes, even if we went par bogey, we should be I know it sounds strange, 5.2, 3.6, we should be 0.8 of a shot over. If we went par bogey, we're 1 over, we're about where we need to be. Okay, so ultimately, yeah, the whole idea of this is to release that pressure, take the expectation level down. I'm going to go back to the tee, let's play a shot. If I end up in this area or better, really good, we can move it on from there. So that's always interesting for me, to realise I don't actually need to hit the green here on this par 3 to play single figure golf. Get this ball within 15 yards of the green, and remember what our goal was, to get it to within 7 feet, 8 feet after 2 shots. If we can get it to within 10, 15 yards of the green and then be able to chip it to that area, you're doing what you need to do. So we're always looking to put that opportunity of putting to say, if I get there, yeah, from 7 feet, you're going to miss more than you're going to hole. Okay, only a tour player's holing probably from 7 feet more than he's missing from that average distance. Even a scratch golfer's missing more than he's holing. So that's quite important to understand. But now we know, 200-yard hole, I can hit this probably 180, 190. That's okay. So again, what does it do? It lowers the pressure. It brings down the expectation. And that's the biggest difference I see with my golfers. As soon as they see that, the game starts to improve because they're not trying to do something they can't do. Okay, I'm still picking a club I know I can hit a couple hundred yards. Ultimately, yeah, I'd still love to hit it on the green. And as I said to all of you before, I'm never going to stop you playing your best shot. But ultimately in this particular hole, don't feel you have to stick this right next to the hole. Take the pressure off yourself and you'll probably make a more relaxed, better golf swing. So that's the goal that we're looking for here. So we're looking for that shot. Yes, I'm going to play a club that I know goes 200 yards, will get me to the green. But I'm okay with 10 to 15 yards off the edge and then look to chip it on and get it within 7 feet. Let's see what we can do. So again, pick my line on this particular hole. Everything cambers that way. I hit a little draw, so I'm going to aim middle of the green, let my draw take it to the left side, and then camber, then bring me back towards the middle of the green. That's ultimately where I'd like to be. Nice and smooth, no pressure, get it up near the green. So we struck that nicely, exactly what I want. If I get the right bounce, I might be on the green. If I don't, I'm going to be around that area that I'm happy with. As I said, if I'm 10 yards short, that's okay. If I'm on the green, it's a bonus. So we've arrived at the green, and remember what we said, we were looking for that shot 15 yards or so short would be good. I knew I'd hit a decent shot. As I said, I felt no pressure. I felt I was standing on that tee. I knew I could just make a smooth swing. We've ended up 40 feet away, okay? So we've gone from a 3.6 hole. Remember what this should be. On 20% of the time I should 3-putt this. I've gained 0.4 of a shot. So by taking the pressure off, you can see what's happened on these first 2 holes. I gained 0.1 getting to the green. I made my 2 putts. I've gained 0.4 getting to this green, okay? Again, if I can make a 2-putt, I'm now well ahead of the game. But remember what we said at the end of the first hole that we played, we need a dozen pars really to be able to make that consistency as we go through and make that chance we are going to break 80. So that could happen on a hole that on average, maybe you don't on average par it, but on occasions you will. This is one of the very low stroke indexes. I think it's stroke index 4. So again, a hole, as I said, 4 handicapper or worse, okay, in that situation, okay, 4 handicap, they're the only guys who are looking to par this hole. If you're worse than that, you are going to bogey it more than any other time. We've got a result, but we've still got a bit of work here. Doesn't guarantee I'm going to 2-putt this. Still 1 in 5. On average, I'm going to 3-putt this. Little bit of break left to right, okay. The nice thing is, it's a little bit longer than the one on the previous hole, but similar sort of pace, so I can get the confidence to get this ball rolling up to the hole. Yep, speed good again, and that's all I'm looking for on those sort of length of putts. If I can get the speed right, we've got that probably 15 inches from the hole. That's just now concentration, knock it in. And as I said, everything I'm doing And the idea of all of my videos is to lower that score. That's the big thing. Get your data correct. If you're looking for the perfect swing, here's the key thing as we go on to our last hole. I haven't thought technically one shot so far. Okay? Let whatever swing you've created go out and play. Be as relaxed as you can. Let it happen. See what score it gives you. I'll guarantee if you're going out there technically thinking about, I've got to be in this position, you will score worse. Okay? If it doesn't happen on the golf course, go back to the practice ground, work on it technically, and then trust it when you come back. That's what I'm doing well so far today. We're a little bit ahead of the game. Let's go and play the last hole. It's a little tricky tee shot, the last. Okay, but it's only a 320-yard hole. We'll give you the data. We'll work out what we should do as a single-figure golfer, and let's see if we can go and do it. So we're on to our last hole of our 3-hole challenge. It's the 18th hole here at Corinthians. It's a 330-yard par 4. Okay, so let's just give you the data. So this is a hole on average I would take 4.3 as a single-figure golfer. That guy breaking 80. Okay, that's what we're looking at. That's the data we're working around. And so what does that mean? Okay, so 70% of the time I'm going to par it, 30% of the time I'm going to bogey the hole. So again, still, we're not seeing any hole that you should be guaranteed a par. You're going to have to do a little bit of work, but remember, as a single-figure golfer, as that guy breaking 80, you hit the ball well enough that you should be getting it around that area, okay? So let's break it down to, let's look at 2 results on the green. If I can get approximately 50 feet away after 2 shots, so hit the green in regulation, 50 feet away, I'm doing what I'm meant to do. If I don't happen to hit the green, can I chip the ball close? We need to be around about 4 feet. So that's a good thing to look at as well, that if you look at it and think I'm 50 feet away, if I can now hit that 50-foot putt within 3-4 feet, that's a level shot, that's a par shot. That's what I should do for my level to break 80. So that's just giving you some data. So let's go up and see where the tee shot needs to end up, and then let's see if we can play it. So the result we're looking for off this tee is we're looking for a shot around about 140 yards down the fairway. The markers here, I'm just inside the 150 markers here. The 150 markers at this course go to the centre of the green. Okay, now this is one of the longest greens on the golf course, and it can vary. If you're on the 150 yard marker and the flag's right at the front, you could have a shot of only around about 125 yards. If the greenkeepers put it right at the back, you could have 175. Okay, we'll see what we've got when we come up here, but this is ultimately where we want to be. And again, remember what we said on the tee shot on the first hole. Ultimately, this is where we'd love to be, but if we don't end up in that position, number one, can you create a good lie? So even if you're in the light rough, is the lie okay? 2, can you make a swing so there's no trees affecting your swing? And then ultimately, we want a clean line going through to where we want to go, okay? You may not always get those things, but if you think, well, yeah, I've got a good lie and I can still make the swing, there's a great opportunity to put that ball up the fairway and give yourself a chance. So on this particular hole, 330, we were looking to advance it that 190 yards or so, 140 into the green, but as I said, anywhere between 130, 150 will be a really good result. Let's go back and see what we can do. So we've got that good information. We're looking for a shot to be around about that 130 to 150 distance from the green, and that on average is where I would then put it within about 50 feet of the hole. So that's sort of what we're looking at. That's the result. So again, looking for a shot here. It plays a bit uphill here, this particular hole. So I'm looking in my mind, I know I want to hit this probably around about just over 200 yards because the uphill bit will slow it down. As we said, around about that 140, 150. That means we're only looking for a tee shot of around about 180 to 200. But because it's uphill, and the other thing I get golfers to do on this hole, because it's uphill, and we've got a couple of tee shots like that at Corinthians, don't be scared to take a little bit more loft off the tee to make sure you get up the hill. We've got the 3rd hole here at Corinthians is very much like that. I see people hit their driver and they just plough it into the hill in front of them. It's probably a good 10, 12 degree slope. They find they have more success hitting a 3-wood. So if you are somebody who comes to Corinthians, give that idea a go. But I'm just going to hit my fairway wood again. I've hit it nicely down. What do we hit it down? 16, which is our first hole. So again, I'm using that good feeling, good experience of what we've got in front of us. And that's the important thing. That's what we're looking to achieve to get the desired result we want. Okay, so we know what we're looking for. Anywhere between that sort of 130 to 150 would be good. Okay, there's a tree up here on the right. I aim at the left edge of it with my little bit of draw. Should then bring it round towards the left side of the fairway. and run out to that area. So that's all we're imagining. Think of the result. Nice smooth swing. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, that's a little bit right of where I want to be. I know it's going to probably leave me the distance, but what might be interesting now, and this is where I might have to manage my game a little bit better, I may have the tree in my way, okay? But let's go and find out. We know what we're looking for as a result. Anything in that sort of 140 area would be good. Let's go and see if we got it. If we haven't, how can we maybe look at those other bits of data? How can I still get it to 50 feet from the hole after 2? Or maybe I've got to get it close to the green, chip it on to get around that 4 feet for 3 shots. So where we hit that tee shot and what we talked about on the tee itself is this is the distance we should be from the hole. You can see the flag there right down the front of the green. We're 50 feet away. We're looking around about 20 paces from the hole. If I could be here in 2, and then on average, 70% of the time I get this down in 2 putts, I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. And I think that's so important to understand. Again, you're going to get bored with me saying it. Take the pressure off yourself. As soon as I get golfers to relax, the swing that you take onto the practice ground starts to come out. There's not many golfers I know come out on the golf course who are as relaxed as they are on the practice ground. Okay, we've got to find that golfer. You're not physically a different person. Are you mentally different? Is that creating tension and causing the problems? Okay, so if I end up here or better, I'm comfortably doing what I want to do. Now, I'd love to make 3 pars for you today, because if I make 3 pars here, that still means I've got 6-7 shots to play with to break 80 around the other 15 holes. So let's go and see what I've got. That 125-yard shot we've got coming over the tree. Let's see if we can get this ball on the green and give ourselves that opportunity to maybe make a 3rd par. So we've come up to where my ball is, and let's look a little bit back at what we've sort of discussed a little bit through the videos before. And it's not a perfect result. I mean, I've taken a reading. I'm a little bit closer than I needed to be. 140 was the number. I've ended up around about 125 yards from the green. The camber of the fairway has pushed me into the light rough, but this is the important thing. 2 things I'm going to look at initially. Number 1, what's the lie like? Okay, I'm in the rough. It shouldn't be perfect. It's what it is. I've got to deal with that, but it's not a bad lie. 2, there's no trees around my swing, so that's not going to affect what I want to do there. So the only thing now I've got to look at is, can I get over that tree? Okay, and I'm far enough back from it. I'm a good 30, 40 yards back from it that I should be able to get over that tree. But here's the clever thing. It's all about results. Remember what we're looking to achieve. After 2 shots, can I be 50 feet from the green? Or after 3 shots, 50 feet from the hole. After 3 shots, can I be around about 4 feet? It doesn't matter how you achieve that. It's still a hole that you are going to bogey some of the time. That's the important thing to understand. So I think that's really key. As a single figure golfer, that guy looking to break 80, you think I should be parring every hole? No. If I get through these 3 holes, 1 over par, I've achieved my goal, really. Because if you think about it, if I can do that every 3 holes, then there's 6 more sets of 3. If I'm 1 over times 6, I've just shot 6 over. I'm going to break 80. That's the goal. So look what's happening. Because I've got some good results on the previous holes, what is it allowing me to do? Relax even more. So that's the important thing. So 50 feet's my number. I know I've got a 9 iron here. I know that's enough club to get me over the tree. That's the most important thing. And if I can do that, we can get up near the green. Let's see what happens. 50 feet's a good number. Well, the strike's lovely. It's over the tree. There's a little bit of breeze up there. I think we have crept onto the green. Okay, so if we have, we should be 50 feet or under. So again, because I've taken the tension out of the game, I've then ended up getting a much better result than probably I'd expect from this position. And that's the key thing. I'm lowering those expectations. I'm not putting myself under pressure. Okay, but let's go up, have a look at what we've got, see if we've ended up better than we wanted or around that area. If we have, great, we're doing what we want to do. So here we are, we've come up onto the green, and I was really happy with the shot, got it over the tree. The most important thing I did there, made sure I had enough club to get up, because knowing the hole, like we said on the video, this is one of the longest greens, and because I was only just inside the 150 marker, it felt like only about 15 yards, it gave me a reading of 125. I made sure I had enough club to get here because there's a bank at the front. If I hit that and roll down, it was going to make it difficult. We've ended up 28 feet away. Okay, I've measured it out. So where does that put us in our stats? Well, 28 feet is now around about a putt. I'm going to probably 3-putt 10% of the time. And remember what the goal was on the tee, was to gain, a situation to be about 50 feet away, which would be a 30% chance. So you can see today I'm having a good ball striking day. Getting to the greens, I gained 0.1 of a shot on the first hole. We gained close to 0.4 on the next. And we've gained another 0.2 here. So I'm 0.7 up tee to green. I've then 2-putted the first 2 holes. If we can 2-putt that as well, this one as well, overall, we're going to be about 1.1 shots up. About half of that's down to putting, half of that's down getting to the green. It'll be a really good day. If I do happen to 3-putt it, I'm about where I should be for these 3 holes. Remember, 0.2 over par on the first hole, 0.6 and 0.3. That adds up to 1.1. So if we do happen to 2-putt it, or if we get a little bit fortunate and hole it, then we get a little bit more ahead of the game. So not going to do a lot this putt. It's downhill, but it's going to move fractionally left to right, but not a lot. But again, because it's over that 20 feet mark, it's all about speed. Get the speed right. We're looking good. Somebody said to me, you can have 2 putts now. I'd run to the next tee. So it's rolling down there nicely. Keep going. Yep. So my 3 putts from those distances, we've put them all inside 15 inches. We've achieved what we want to do. So we today got our 3 pars, which was a little bit ahead of the game for what we're looking to do. But remember what we said, I think, on the last tee. We're looking for a situation where we need to make probably a dozen pars to play to single figure golf. Because golf's not that black and white that you're going to play it perfectly. You're going to make some errors. You might make some birdies, which would be even better. But the whole idea of this video, please, and I know it sounds strange, I've been a golf coach for over 30 years. When you walk onto that golf course, do not get technical. Play. Look at the results you're getting. It's a results game. Get the ball in play off the tee. Okay? Get the ball up onto the green, near the green. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. You saw today, I had no 5-footers for birdies. Okay? They averaged out about 30 feet on each hole. I'm happy with that. If I can do that, and then if you find yourself 3-putting those, realise well, your game tee to green is good enough, but then I'm not good enough on the putting green. Well, go and spend some time and develop that skill. But as soon as you walk onto the course, forget your technique, work on your game, look at the shot in front of you, play it for what you have. As I said, I hit my tee shots today. My tee shot on the first hole wasn't great. That meant I had to go down the fairway just with a 6-iron. Okay, I'd like to have been a bit more left and cut a little bit of the corner maybe, but I couldn't do it. Shot on this last hole, I'm up behind the tree. Okay, fortunately, I'm a good distance from the hole with a lofted enough club to get over the tree. But again, I'd rather not have that situation in front of me. So it wasn't a perfect round of golf or perfect 3 holes, but what we did, we managed it. And that's the important thing. If you start to think this way, the golfers that I teach who have started to think this way have knocked 6 to 10 shots off a round. As I said at the start, the guys shooting 90 are now shooting 80. As much as your swing is important to develop, your mind is just as important. And unfortunately, because you've probably been set in your ways for a longer period of time with your mind than you have with your swing, it may take more work. That's just fact, okay? But if you like the idea, go out there, take the pressure off yourself. Even just look at some of the few stats we've gone through here. Go back and look at my 12 shots of golf videos. There's loads of data and stats in those videos. Look at your level and go, wow, is that all I need to achieve? I haven't hit a tee shot today further than 200 yards. 210 maybe the most, and I've just parred 3 holes. Okay? So that's really important for you to understand. It's not about booming that ball down there. You don't need to do what Rory's doing, 300 yards. You need to get that ball in play, give yourself that opportunity. If you do that, take the expectation level down, release that pressure. 1, you'll have more fun, and I'll guarantee 2, you will start shooting lower scores. You will break 80 if you take these ideas on board. I hope you've enjoyed that video, a very different way of looking at your game. But if you have enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel. Definitely share this with your friends, get them on board with it, get their mind in the right place. Press the little bell for notifications and you'll get videos every Tuesday and Friday. And I look forward to seeing you soon.